olive trees, historic stone houses, resistance. But if you were truly born in Palestine, you would wake up to the sirens of bombardments, face hunger, see children being pulled from the rubble, and live in a society with some of the strongest family ties in the world. This video will show you the real Palestinian life behind the headlines. Palestine, the heart of the Middle East. Historic lands. 5 million people in Palestinian territories, West Bank and Gaza. 2 million living as Palestinian citizens within Israel's borders. Sacred places for 3 Abrahamic religions: Jerusalem, Bethlehem, Hebron. But Palestine isn't just history. Since October 2023, Gaza is being destroyed before the world's eyes. Over 40,000 dead, most women and children. Homes, hospitals, schools, mosques under bombardment. People dying of starvation, no water, no electricity, no medicine. Being born in Palestine means being at the center of the world's most complex humanitarian crisis. Occupation, restrictions, checkpoints, settlements, now genocide, these are part of daily life. This is where people live face to face with death, yet still don't give up hope. Even as children are pulled from rubble, survivors keep living. Contradictory? Life itself is. That's Palestine. So what do you know about Palestine's realities? I'd love to see your guesses in the comments. The moment you're born in Palestine, your situation depends on where you're born. If you're born in Gaza post-2023, even your survival chances are uncertain. 70% of infrastructure has been destroyed. Hospitals aren't functioning. There's no safe place to give birth. Women are giving birth in tents, in shelters. Infant mortality rates have skyrocketed. If you're born in the West Bank, you get an ID number from the Palestinian Authority, but Israeli settler attacks have increased. Since 2023, over 500 Palestinians have been killed outside Gaza. You grow up in a typical Palestinian family, if your family is still alive. In Gaza, over 10,000 children have been killed. Every family has a martyr. Average family was 4 to 5 children, but now many children are orphans. Families are shattered, scattered. If you're alive, grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, cousins, those remaining stay together. The concept of family has become the only way to survive in Palestine. If your mother works, though most women can't work now because there are no workplaces, grandmothers take care of children. In Gaza, unemployment is close to 100%. Nothing works. The economy has collapsed. At home, if your home hasn't been destroyed, there's a typical Palestinian setup. But in Gaza, 360,000 homes have been damaged or destroyed. 2 million people displaced. People living in tents, school buildings, on streets. Finding food is nearly impossible. There's famine in Gaza. According to UN reports, 90% of the population faces starvation. Children are dying from malnutrition. If you find a can, you're lucky. Hours in line for bread. Sometimes bread never comes. Olive oil has become a luxury. Your childhood, if you're living, passes in trauma. Bombardment sounds, rubble images, family losses. All children in Gaza have PTSD. Playing, laughing has become a luxury. At 6, you want to start school, but in Gaza, there are no schools. 625 schools damaged or destroyed. 625,000 children deprived of education. Children growing up in rubble, in refugee camps instead of schools. In the West Bank, schools are still open but under threat. Israeli soldiers raid schools. Students are detained. Over 270 children in Israeli prisons without even charges. If you can get education, you go to UNRWA schools. Classes are very crowded, 50 to 60 students, no resources. Teachers haven't been paid for months, but they still try to teach. In 12th grade, there's the Tawjihi exam, but in Gaza, the 2024 exam couldn't be held. Students' futures were suspended. University dreams collapsed. During youth years, there's almost no social life. In Gaza, children and youth spend their days trying to survive. Water lines, food lines, tent life. In the West Bank, checkpoints and restrictions have increased. Youth live in fear of detention. Over 10,000 Palestinians detained, including women and children. Technology has become critical for connecting with the outside world. Internet in Gaza is cut off, but when it works, Palestinian youth try to make their voices heard to the world. Instagram, TikTok, X, rubble images, starvation images, bombardment videos, they share so the world can see. University is unimaginable now. All universities in Gaza have been damaged or destroyed. Al-Azhar, Islamic University, Al-Quds universities under bombardment, hundreds of academics killed. Many youth dream of studying abroad, but there's no exit from Gaza. Rafah border crossing is closed. Leaving the West Bank requires Israeli permission, which is almost never given. By the way, how can the world stay silent to this injustice? Do Palestine's realities make you think? Living as an adult in Palestine, especially Gaza, means being under death threat every second. Here's a typical day in Gaza, if you're still alive. Morning, if you didn't die in overnight bombardment. You wake to sound bombs, explosions. The call to prayer sometimes can't be heard because many mosques have been destroyed. No breakfast. You wake hungry. You wait hours in line to find water. No clean water. People are trying to drink seawater. Diseases have spread. Hepatitis, cholera, diarrhea. Go to work. There's no work. Everything in Gaza has stopped. Factories, shops, offices, all destroyed or unable to operate. People are just trying to survive. Most of your day is spent searching for food. UN aid trucks, if they can get through, require hours of waiting in line. If you find a can, you're lucky. You line up from morning for bread. Sometimes bread never comes. Your children are hungry. Babies are hungry. No formula, no baby food. Mothers can't breastfeed because they themselves are starving. UN starvation reports are real. Children are dying from malnutrition. At noon, if there's no bombardment, you try to rest, but there's no electricity. Charging your phone is impossible. You can't get news. You don't know what's happening in the world. Evening, you gather with your family, those who remain, in a tent, school, classroom, or corner of your destroyed house. If there's anything to eat, you share it. If not, you're hungry. At night, sleeping is impossible. Bombardment sounds are constant. Children crying, scared. Death can come any moment. You're awake until morning. In the West Bank, it's not as horrific as Gaza, but still difficult. Unemployment 20–25%. Economy is bad. Israeli soldiers and settlers have increased attacks. Daily home raids, detentions, settler attacks. Water and electricity are also problems in the West Bank. Israel controls the resources. Cutoffs are frequent. Are Palestinians warm-hearted? The warmest, most resilient people in the world. Despite all the suffering, they haven't lost their humanity. Hospitality culture continues even during war and poverty. In Gaza, a Palestinian shares even their last piece of bread with neighbors. Tents are shared, meals are shared. Family bonds have grown even stronger. Losses have brought families closer together. If a child is orphaned, the whole neighborhood takes them in. If a woman loses her husband, the community cares for her. Funerals have become routine, painful but true. Every day there are funerals. Mass graves are being dug in Gaza. People can't even find safe places to bury their martyrs. Political consciousness has risen even more. Palestinians have seen the world's hypocrisy. They've understood that concepts like human rights and international law only apply to some. Even children now talk about the UN's, the West's, the media's double standards. Sumud, steadfastness, is no longer just a concept, it's a survival strategy. Waking up every day, breathing, trying to feed your children is sumud. Religion has become more important in painful times. People take refuge in God, pray, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. We belong to Allah, and to Him we return, is the most repeated phrase. Women have shown incredible strength. Women trying to cook in tents, trying to protect children, treating the wounded. Journalist women, doctor women, teacher women, all on the front lines. Can you see such resistance in your own life? Does Palestinian strength affect you? Living in Palestine, especially Gaza, means being under death threat every second. Bombardments continue non-stop. F-16s, drones, artillery fire, no targets. Homes, schools, hospitals, refugee camps, mosques, churches, everything is hit. There's no so-called safe zone. People flee, but there's nowhere to flee. Massacres have occurred, Saad. Families were completely wiped out in their homes, at weddings, in refugee camps. 10-person, 20-person, 50-person families vanished in an instant. Children are being killed. The numbers are cold. Over 16,000 children killed as of mid-2024. Babies, young children, teenagers, dozens of children die every day. Doctors say it's worse than hell. Starvation is being used as a weapon. Humanitarian aid into Gaza is being blocked. UN trucks are delayed. Aid is blocked. People are hungry. Children are dying of starvation. The UN calls it artificially created famine by humanity. No water. 97% of Gaza's clean water sources have been destroyed or contaminated. People are trying to drink seawater, dirty water. Diseases are spreading. The healthcare system has collapsed. Hospitals have been bombed. Of 36 hospitals, only a few are partially functioning. No medicine, no anesthesia, no surgical equipment. Doctors are operating with their hands. Legs are amputated, arms are amputated, without anesthesia. Psychological devastation is incalculable. All of Gaza's population is in PTSD. Children are traumatized. Psychologists say PTSD cases in Gaza's children are at unprecedented levels in history. The situation has worsened in the West Bank too. Over 500 Palestinians killed. Detentions increased. Over 10,000 arrests. Settler violence escalating. Villages being emptied. There's no future. Life in Gaza has completely stopped. People are just trying to survive. Thinking about the future is a luxury. But Palestine, despite all the suffering, still has beautiful aspects. The human spirit cannot be destroyed. Family bonds are unmatched. Palestinians, despite their losses, never leave each other alone. Orphaned children are adopted, elderly are cared for, wounded are helped. The level of solidarity is incredible. If a family's home is destroyed, neighbors share their tents. If someone has food, they share with everyone. Even in starvation, sharing continues. Worldwide support has increased. Millions poured into streets. London, New York, Paris, Istanbul, Jakarta. Free Palestine was chanted. The world saw Palestine. Young activists became heroes. Journalists risked their lives to show the truth to the world. Motaz, Bisan, Hind, Plestia, Wael, their names are written in history. Over 180 journalists killed, but voices didn't silence. The spirit of resistance couldn't be destroyed. Palestinians, despite all suffering, continue to say no. We are here, we will stay here, they say. The value of education is still high. Even under rubble, teachers try to teach. Children learn to read and write. They're preparing for the future, believing there will be a future. Art and music are tools of resistance. Poems are written, songs are sung, graffiti is drawn, the Palestinian flag waves everywhere. Hope never dies. Palestinians believe freedom will come. Tomorrow will be better, they say, even without proof. Let's draw a realistic scenario. 2024, Palestine. Let's say you were born in Gaza, Born in 2020, you're 4 years old, half your life passed in war. Your childhood started with bombardment sounds. After October 7th, 2023, everything changed. You had a home, now it's gone. You had a neighborhood, rubble. You had friends, many martyred. You fled with your family, from Gaza City to Rafah, when Rafah was bombed, to Khan Yunis, when Khan Yunis was bombed, to Deir al-Balah. Constant displacement, tent to tent. You had a father, not anymore. He was martyred in a March 2024 bombardment. He was 35. You were 3. Now you live in a tent with your mother and 2 siblings. 3 more families in the tent. 15 people. Most of your day passes hungry. Sometimes bread is found, sometimes not. Your mother waits in food lines for days. When a can is found, it's a celebration. You have no toys, no playground. Your friends play in rubble. You play war games, but isn't this real anyway? You can't sleep at night. Bombardment sounds are scary. You try to sleep in your mother's arms, but mother can't sleep either. Everyone's awake. You don't go to school. There's no school. You had a teacher, martyred too. Now your older sister tries to teach you letters on rubble with pebbles. When you get sick, there's no medicine. Going to a doctor is impossible. Your mother prays. You can't imagine something called the future. You're 4 years old, but you've already seen so much. Death, blood, rubble, hunger, but you still smile sometimes. Because you're a child. Hope lives in you. That's the life of a child born in Gaza in 2024. Pain, trauma, but still hope. Does the world see this? What do you think? If you were born in Palestine, especially Gaza, in 2024, surviving itself would be a miracle. But if you survived, you'd have one of the world's strongest spirits. Palestinians, despite all suffering, are still standing. Sumud, steadfastness, isn't just a word, it's a way of life. Waking up every morning is resistance. Every breath is victory. So what do you think? How do these realities affect you? How can the world stay silent to this injustice? Share your thoughts in the comments. Making your voice heard matters. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. These stories need to reach more people. And now the question is yours. Which country do you want to see in tomorrow's video? Japan, Brazil, South Africa, or another country? Tell me in the comments. We'll make the most voted country. Don't forget to subscribe. Every day, a new country, a new alternative life story. But remember, some lives aren't alternative. They're real. And they need your hope, your voice, your solidarity. See you in tomorrow's video.